everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know, my name is Autumn Renee and I am a 23-year-old single foster parent. I currently have a 10-month-old little boy living with me. He is currently eating lunch, so if you hear him in the background, that is what that is. Here on this channel I make videos about foster care, baby and toddler products, single mom life, and everything in between, so if you're interested in that, I would love to have you subscribe. But let's go ahead and get into this video. So today we are going to be discussing just kind of how to balance work and foster care and kind of career changes and what's going on in my life and just kind of all of that stuff. It's been a while since I've uploaded a video, but I know this is a really common question that people have, is whether or not, how am I going to, be a single parent and work, and how am I going to balance that, especially with little ones. And so I kind of wanted to just share my experience, kind of what career I have, what I've been doing, and I actually have a career change happening in the near future, and kind of going to discuss my reasons for that, and just kind of get really personal with you guys. I haven't shared a lot of personal things about what's going on in my life on this channel. One, to just protect my privacy. Two, in foster care, there's just things I'm not allowed to share in general, and I also want to protect my little guy's, his story is his story, and I don't want to be sharing all those details on the internet without his consent. So that's kind of why I haven't really delved into my personal life too much on this channel, but I do think it would be helpful for you guys to kind of hear what I do for work and how that works with how I foster, just so you can get an idea of how maybe you can do it in the future. And I would love to hear your guys's, like what you do for a living, and how you make it work with foster care in the comments below. I think that would be really helpful for lots of people watching this video to see the different kinds of careers and how people make it work. So hopefully this video can be a really great resource for a lot of people. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So what do I do for work? So currently I am working as a full-time nanny. I was a full-time nanny when I started the process and have been so far during the process. Nannying was not, nannying was not what I thought I was going to do with my life. I did go to college. I got my degree in child development. There's a whole story behind how that happened, but that's for another video. And basically, I was teaching for a little while. I was teaching preschool, and that scenario where I was teaching just wasn't for me. So I took a little bit of a break. I got a great offer from a family to be their nanny. I decided to do that, and I really, really enjoyed it. So I've stuck with that since then. I've really loved the family that I work for and their kiddos, and it's been a really great experience. However, when I decided that I wanted to become a foster parent, they were not on board for me bringing him with me. I know a lot of foster parents who are nannies, single foster parents particularly, and they're able to bring their kiddos with them, which is awesome. You get to spend all day with them, and that's great, and that would definitely be my preference. But unfortunately, the family that I currently work for was not okay with that. So when I got licensed and finished the whole process and everything, and they told me that, then I had to put my little guy in daycare. Now in my state, they do pay for daycare, so it's not a financial strain. Well, at the beginning it was. It took a while to set up. I think I talked about that in my first 2 weeks of being a foster parent video. I'll try to remember to link that below. But after it initially got set up, it hasn't been a financial strain. However, the daycares that are available that accept the government subsidies are not the highest quality. This is the best way I can put it. So I do not love where he's at, and I wish that he didn't have to be there. I'm not gonna lie, that's definitely been the biggest challenge being a single foster parent, is just having to balance that childcare work situation. Obviously he's much better off than where he was, and of course we have tons of quality time in the mornings and in the evenings and on the weekends and holidays. And my job has been flexible enough for me to be able to take us to appointments and things. But it is a challenge, so I do want to be open and honest about that has been the hardest part for sure. And because of that, I am actually going to be doing a career change soon. I actually am going to be finishing with my current job in about 6 weeks, and I'm going to be transitioning to being a middle school teacher, which I know is like huge change. Obviously, I love working with kids. That should be pretty self-evident considering my degree and my work history. But I'm really, really excited. I got to choose, obviously, whatever grade and subject I wanted to teach. Because I already had a degree, I was able to go get alternatively certified. So I've actually been going to school to do that, which is why I have not been posting so many videos. I have been juggling being a single mom, a full-time worker, and a full-time student, so it's been very busy. But I know the end results are going to be so worth it. because I will have, as a teacher, I will have, the summers off with him and Christmas breaks off with him and all the other holiday breaks. My hours per day will be shorter. He's going to be able to go to a daycare that's actually at the school where I work. It's going to be higher quality. They have a better curriculum. So it's just going to be better all the way around for him and for me. And I think it's going to be a really good choice for my future as a foster parent. So that's kind of where I am. I've decided that teaching is really going to be what works best for me as a single foster parent. I know there are other foster parents who find, great work from home jobs. They find a way to maybe only work part-time and still make their ends meet. A lot of people, it's really incredible the way people rearrange their whole lives to become foster parents and to continue fostering. And it's really inspiring and awesome. So there's definitely opportunities out there. And there are people too that do work the 9 to 5 jobs or even later. And they make it work. Yeah, yes, the kids have to go to school and maybe or maybe not it's ideal, but the reality is in this day and age, most kids do have to go to daycare. There isn't very many opportunities, for stay-at-home, moms these days, especially with so many people being divorced and single, or just not being able to make it on one income in this economy. So basically, that's just a reality for a lot of kids. So you're not a horrible person if your kid has to go to daycare or school for a few hours or a lot of hours. The important thing is that they have those, quality moments when you are with them, and that you feel that they're safe and taken care of where they are. So that's kind of my 2 cents on that and my outlook on it. I'm very excited about the whole career change that I'm doing right now, and that is why I have not had a lot of videos up recently. I've been very busy with that, and I'm still finishing some last minute things with that, so I probably will not have a consistent upload schedule for a little bit longer, but thank you guys for sticking with me and going through all of this. And I guess the takeaway from this is just, it can be done a lot of different ways. There's so many different careers and ways people make it work, and whichever way you make it work and works for your family is great. And if people have a problem with it, you can just ask them, well, how many people have you fostered? Because that's the reality. People think, when they talk to me, I've heard several people that are like, oh, you're single and you're working, wouldn't they be better off in a 2-parent home with a mom who could stay at home with him? Maybe, but the reality is there's not enough homes like that. There is a huge shortage of foster parents. So if you can make it work in any way possible, that's what they need. They won't place a child in your home if they have a better option. So that's kind of what I think about that and how I make it work. And I know particularly with littles, and not even just with littles, kids in general, they have lots of appointments. They've got medical appointments, they've got therapy appointments, they've got visitation with mom, and I know a lot of people just want to know, how do you make that work with a full-time job? And for me, I've been very blessed. I planned really ahead. I found a pediatrician that had appointments on Saturdays and in the evenings. I found a dentist that had appointments on Saturdays and in the evenings. I have CPS transports to visits. They pick him up from his daycare, take him to mom, have their 2-hour visit, and then take him back. So it doesn't interrupt my work schedule at all. And thankfully, those are really the only appointments so far that he has had. There has been a few instances where he was sick and I did have to take off some work. That's just a reality when you have a kid. But if you have backup sitters or someone who's available to watch him or her, then, that helps with that problem as well. So it can be a little bit challenging, but if you'll find your groove and you'll make it work. It may take a little bit of work here and there, but, it can work. I know people who take, huge sibling sets and they make it work. So, you could definitely make it work with one. So that's kind of just my experience and how things are going and how I balance that work and fostering life. It's not that different from just being a, regular parent, because that's what we are. We're parents. So that's kind of how I make it work. Let me know in the comments below if you have any specific questions about any of this, or if you have any videos that you want me to make in the future. I do read all your comments and I really listen, and I want this channel to be a very helpful resource for everyone. So definitely leave me a comment below and let me know, and make sure to subscribe to see my future videos. I will talk to you guys next time. Thanks.